President, please be seated. The court is now in session. Today, the Chamber continues to hear the testimony of the current witness and then commence hearing testimony of another witness, that is through TCW 883. Mr. Am Hoi, please report the attendance of the parties and other individuals at today's proceedings. Graffier. Mr. President, for today's proceedings, all parties to this case are present, except the National Lead Co-Lawyer for Civil Parties, who is absent this morning for personal matters. Mr. Nuon Chea is present in the holding cell downstairs. He has waived his right to be present in the courtroom. The waiver has been delivered to the greffier. The witness who is to conclude his testimony today, that is Mr. Sengström, is present in the courtroom. We also have a reserve witness today, that is through TCW 883. The witness confirms that to the best of his knowledge, he has no relationship by blood or by law to any of the two accused, that is Nuon Chea and Khieu Samphan, or through any of the civil parties admitted in this case. The witness took an oath before the Iron Club State True yesterday's morning, and he has Mr. Mom Rati as his duty counsel. President, thank you. The Chamber now decides on the request by Nuon Chea. The Chamber has received a waiver from Nuon Chea dated 15 September 2015, which states that due to his health, headache and back pain, he cannot sit or concentrate for long, and in order to effectively participate in future hearings, he requests to waive his right to participate in and be present at the 15 September 2015 hearing. Having seen the medical report of Nuon Chea by the duty doctor for the accused of the ECCC dated 15 September 2015, which notes that Nuon Chea has chronic back pain and it becomes more severe when he sits for long, and recommends that the Chamber grant him his request so that he can follow the proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs. Based on the above information and pursuant to Rule 81.5 of the ECCC internal rules, the Chamber grants Nuon Chea his request to follow today's proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs via audio-visual means, and the Chamber instructs the AV unit personnel to link the proceedings to the room downstairs so that he can follow the proceedings. This applies to the whole day. The floor is now given to the co-counsel for Khieu Samphan to put questions to this witness. You may proceed, counsel.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. Bonjour à tous.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning, Mr. Sengström. I'll take up the examination where we stopped yesterday. We'll talk about members of the armed forces who participated in the arrest of Cham, which you participated in. As you stated yesterday, you stated that the 9 persons who were members of the unit were present, and to be specific, you gave 5 names as being the names of members of that unit. I would like you to confirm that they were indeed members of that unit. You mentioned Lav Chai, who subsequently became your brother-in-law. Lav Chai was he present during the arrest of the Cham, Lav Chai?
witness. I did not see him during the event of the arrest, and as I testified yesterday, the Longsword group was divided into smaller groups to go to various villages, namely Sambumi Ko and other villages. The Cham people, as I stated, were desecrated and placed in various villages within the commune to live mixed with the Khmer people.
Alors, je vais reposer ma question différente.
Let me put my question to you differently. Regarding the Longsword unit, which members of that unit or group did you see as having participated in the arrest of the Cham?
Regarding the participation of members of the Longsword group in the Sambumi Ko village, first Ta Jiwon and a few others who actually had arrived before I was at that location. When I was told to go there, I was not told exactly what I was supposed to do. And only upon the arrival of the Cham people who had been arrested did I realize that I was instructed to go there and stand guard of those people.
J'entends bien, en dehors de Tai.
I do understand that apart from Tai Chin Hum, from what I've understood, there were other members of the Longsword group. Which members of that group did you recognize as having participated in the arrest of the Cham?
Regarding the arrest of the Cham people, it is very difficult to recognize as who was who. There was no proper lighting and we could see each other from the moonlight, so it was not that clear and the visibility was limited. I was not allowed to go near them and I was standing guard afar from them. The person that I knew clearly was Takum Hon, as he was the one who led the Cham people to the area that I was standing.
Dans votre déclaration.
In your statement E3/5252, ERN in French 00269-892, ERN in English 00235517, ERN in Khmer 00235022. This is what you stated, free translation, and I quote. During the arrest, members of the Longsword group were broken up into 3 groups with 4 members per group. After arresting the Cham, the Longsword group members all left, leaving 4 of us to lead the Cham to the security center in the Otrakun Pagoda. End of quote. That was a free translation. I understand from this extract from your statement that you saw members of the Longsword group as they were broken up into 3 groups. Since you didn't see people going to Kim Un, how did you know that those people were members of the Longsword group?
Regarding the Longsword group, I actually recognize all members of the Longsword group if I were to meet them during the daytime. However, the event took place at night and it was difficult to recognize anyone You can imagine that even for amongst your own families, your children or husband, if they were 12 meters away from you at night time, you would not recognize them, and that was the case.
Mais comment avez-vous su?
Under those conditions, how did you know that those people were members of the Longsword group then? That is what I want to find out from you.
I recognized that they were members of the Longsword group because they were different from us. We, the civilians, did not have any weapon with us, but the Longsword group members, they had long swords, and they actually carried those swords behind their back. So it is rather distinct from us. We, including myself, a palm tree climber, did not have any weapon.
Est-ce que vous avez reconnu?
Do you know whether there were members of the commune militia present on that day of the arrest?
I did not know whether they were present or not. If it were to happen during the daytime, then it would be very easy to spot who was who, whether they were members of the commune militia or the members of the Longsword group. But what happened was at night time. And I have repeatedly said I was not told explicitly what to do when I was instructed to go through the area near the main road. And I was not told as to what I had to do while I was there.
Alors, on ne vous a pas dit.
Very well. You were not told what you had to do before you arrived at that location, but in light of the extract of your statement I have just read out to you, I understood that the members of the Longsword group left and you were left behind with your 3 other comrades to lead the charm to the pagoda. So my question to you is, who asked you to lead the charm to the pagoda, and when did they issue those instructions to you?
There were many Cham people who were arrested. There were 200 to 300 of them, and the road leading to the pagoda was pretty small. The width was about 4 meters, and for me, I was assigned to walk at the back of the line. And I was walking behind those Cham people, and I was not sure, since I did not see it, anyone, whether there was any walking in the middle or who were leading the group to the pagoda.
Qui vous a demandé?
Who asked you to lead the charm to the pagoda? Who is the person, who are those persons who issued that order to you?
Yeah.
I was not ordered to lead the people, the Cham people, to the pagoda. The instruction that I was given to me was that when the Cham people were being brought to the pagoda, I was supposed to walk behind them. I did not have any authority to lead them to the pagoda.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, I do not have much time. Mr. Witness, please answer my question specifically. Who asked you to accompany the charm to the pagoda? And you say, I was told. And my question to you is, who is that person who ordered you to lead them to the pagoda?
The person who instructed me to go there since I was at the kitchen hall was the chief of the kitchen hall at the Sambumirko village.
Mais vous avez dit un petit peu plus tôt.
And you stated a little earlier on that while you're working, you were not told exactly what you had to do. And I understand that it's when you arrived at that location that you understood your role. Who spoke to you when you arrived next to the group of the charm? Who spoke to you?
I have already said the person who was told to go with the Acham people was the unit chief in Sambumirko, and his name was Hok Hun.
Quand vous êtes arrivé,
When you arrived close to the group of charm, was he the person who was present?
When I arrived at the gathering point, the unit chief was not there.
excusez-moi, est-ce que vous pouvez
Excuse me, could you please repeat your answer? The interpreter did not grasp your answer.
What I stated is that the person who told me to go to that point was Hok Hun, who was the unit chief at the Sambumirko village.
Et le moment où il vous a parlé,
And when they spoke to you, you were still at your place of work. My question is as follows. When you arrived close to the group of 200 or 300 charm you referred to, and when you saw the members of the longsword group standing next to the charm, they spoke to you and they told you what you had to do on that day. Who is the person who spoke to you on that occasion?
When I arrived at that location, I was not instructed to take the Cham people to the pagoda, but I was instructed to stand guard of the Cham people who had been brought in from the villages and to make sure that the Cham people did not flee to the riverbank.
et quel est le nom de cette personne
And what is the name of the person who asked you to keep an eye on the charm?
President witness, please repeat your response as the microphone was not operational when you spoke. Answer. It is very difficult for me to respond to your question. I already repeated my response. Hok Hun was the one who instructed me to go to that gathering location, and when I arrived there, he brought in those Cham people from the villages, and he was the one who told me to stand guard of those Cham people, and his name, let me repeat again, was Tai Kam Huon, and he was the deputy chief of the Long Sword group.
Vous avez indiqué à l'audience
Yesterday, during the proceedings, you stated that the Longsword group was set up around late 1976, early 1977, and in your statement E3/5252, The ERN in French is 002698891, and the ERN in Khmer is 002350021, and the ERN in English is 00235516. And you stated that it was in June 1976. Does that jog your memory? And can you tell us whether it was in mid-1976, late 1976, or early 1977?
I have already said that under the Khmer Rouge regime, it was almost impossible to pinpoint any exact date as we did not have anything to refer to. And I stated that the Longsword group was probably created in late 1976 or early 1977.
Donc le 1076.
So the date you gave in your statement, that is mid-1976, that is your statement of October 2008, no longer reflects what you can remember now.
I cannot say whether that is precise or not. As I said, it's likely to take place in late 76 or early 77.
Vous avez indiqué à plusieurs reprises.
You stated on several occasions during your testimony, and you confirmed this yesterday, that there were no official exhumations of remains of people in mass graves that you said you saw, but you did state that members of the population had dug up the pits in search of goods that they recovered. Can you tell us what kind of goods they were looking for?
They dug up the pits after 1979 in the hope to find jewelry, namely gold, rings, etc. And some found some packages from the pits. And some people actually recovered more than 2 kilograms of gold from one pit, while others found some pieces of jewelry. So those young people, when they were buried along with the clothes that they wore, as well as some personal belongings in sacks or in packages. And when they dug up the pits, of course, they also found skeleton remains.
Vous avez indiqué.
Yesterday, you stated at shortly after 9 hours 31 or 32, if I go by the French transcript, you stated that in 1976, the Cham were forbidden to practice their religion, and you also said that they were not allowed to wear the Cham traditional attire. In your record of interview, E35252, and in French 006223193, ERN in Khmer 006351179, ERN in English 00210490. You state as follows, and you said that you saw in those pits some Cham clothes and headscarves. My question to you is as follows. Since 1976, the Cham had to wear the same attire as the Khmer. How come you were able to find Cham clothes and scarves in pits if they had indeed been killed in 1977? The transcript is actually reference E35302. Correction by the interpreter.
During the Democratic Campuchia period, when the Cham people were required to attend a meeting, for example, of course, they were not allowed to wear their traditional attire and their belongings were left at home. Despite the banned by the regime, those Cham people still hid some of their traditional attire at their home, and they did not dare to wear that attire. And I did not know whether they might have worn it while they were at home without the view of the people during the regime.
Je vous pose aussi cette question, Monsieur le témoin, parce que
Mr. Witness, I am putting this question to you because in document E3/2654, the prosecutor questioned a person called Lopsum. The ERN in French is 0062000050. ERN in English 002111169. ERN in Khmer 00640495. And it continues on the following page. And this is what that person states. He states that he went to Otrakwon after 1979 and that he saw bodies, but he could not determine which bodies were Cham bodies and which were not. Is it therefore correct to say that when there were excavations or when people were looking for personal property, as you stated, it is correct to say that it was not possible to determine who was Cham and who was not?
I don't agree with the statement of that witness that in 1979, when they exhumed the pits, you could clearly say whether they were corpses or skeleton remains of the Cham people or of the Khmer people. But for me, I had lived in the area for more than 30 years, and I could distinguish whether people were Cham or Khmer from the way they dress, for instance. As for the killing of the Cham people, and as I testified, I learned of their demise through my colleague, that is Moon, who was a member of the security force. He told me about the killing of the Cham people and the locations where they were buried, and that is the truth. Other witnesses may say something differently, but they were not the one on the ground. And they may say something which is not true at all.
You spoke a lot about Mun, your comrade. So is it so to say that aside of Mun, you partook in no meetings with the Longsword unit?
Answer. I did not have any relationship with the Longsword group. They had different duties. I was a palm tree climber. When I noticed the Longsword group was coming to my area, I was afraid of what they were going to do. I had no relationship with with the members of those long sought group. They were in higher position, so I did not have any relationship with the members of that group.
Is it so also that you had no ties with the Commune militia?
Answer. It's the same for the militia in the commune. I had no tie with the militia in the commune. I was once arrested and detained. For this reason, I did not have any relationship or tie with that commune militia.
Is it also so that aside from your duties as tree climber, you had no other official duties within the commune, within the district, or within the sector? Is that the case?
Answer. In Pol Pot, in Khmer Rouge time, I did not hold any position. I was considered a reserve person to be used by them. They could send me anywhere they wanted, and because of this, I could survive the regime.
So therefore, it's true that you could not know who took decisions, and decisions were taken, nor what was said during the different meetings that might have taken place at the commune, sector, or regional level.
Answer. It is true what you have just said.
You spoke about, with regard to the period following 1979, the fact that documents were found in a jar. Do you know what happened to these documents and who retrieved them?
The document recovered from the jar was not an annotation or any significant document. People were digging the ground and they found a jar. Suddenly they went to search in the jar and they took out pages of paper from that jar. There was name lists of people, but I do not know what type of peoples were written down in that document. And there was no document stating that 30,000 or 35,000 of people were killed during that period. It is just an estimate from villagers about the numbers of people killed.
My specific question was, do you know who took the documents and what did that person do with those documents?
Answer. From what I saw, no one were collecting the document or pages of document at that time. It was scattered around. No leaders came to collect those pages of a document, and no one stated at that time the document was consisted of the numbers of people killed in the period. And if you can show me that original document, and I can, testify to whether that is the original document from that period,
Please, witness, please cooperate with me. I don't have much time, so I'm putting questions to you that are simple and precise, that do not require expanded answers. So please listen to my questions carefully. Now, after 1979, you spoke about the Pagoda Committee that still exists today, and you explained that Taiki Moon was part of this committee. And in your written record of interview E3/5252, French ERN 00269 Khmer 00235021. And let me just find the English ERN. I will find it immediately. In this record, you say that all of the members of the Pagoda Committee were Khmer Rouge. So can you be more specific about this? And can you tell us which other members you are referring to here?
Answer. Let me reply in short. Concerning members of Pagoda Committee, the Pen Phi is the chief of the kitchen at the Upper Zombomia A, and another person is the chief of the committee until today.
Why did you say, and now I have the English ERN, which is 00235517. So why did you say that all of the members of the committee of this pagoda were Khmer Rouge? The two people that you just mentioned, did they have any kind of position under the Democratic Kampuchea regime in your commune?
Answer. The two individuals held position is in the Democratic Kampuchea. Tai Kam Hon was the deputy of Long Sot Group, and Pen Phi was the chief of logistics in the commune, and also he was the chief of the kitchen in the Upper Zombomia A. So the two guys had a position in the period.
Mr. President, I am aware that I don't have much time left. Even if I have further questions to put, I will now close my cross-examination. Thank you.
President, the hearing of this testimony of Mr. Sein Sun has come to a conclusion now. Thank you, Mr. Sein Sun, for coming here as a witness. Your testimony will contribute to the truth. You may now be excused. You may return to your residence or any desired destination. I wish you good luck, happiness, and prosperity for always. Court officer, please work with the vessels to send Mr. Son Sengs to any place he wishes to go. And now, please invite 2 TCW 883 together with the duty counsel saying the tier into the courtroom. Good morning, Mr. Witness. What is your name? Answer. My name is Samrat Mui. Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Samrat Mui. Can you tell the chamber when you were born? Do you recall it? Answer. I was born in 1947, said the witness. President. In 1947? Is that true? Answer. Yes, I was born in 1947. President. When were you born, Mr. Samrat Mui? Answer. I was a worker at the rubber plantation in 1970. President, I would like to know your place of birth. What is your place of birth? Answer. I was born in Sombo Mia, a village, PMG Kong Commune, Komia District. President, thank you. What about your current address? Where are you living now? Answer. I am living in Sombo Mia, a village, PMG Kong Commune, Komia District. President, thank you. What are your parents' names? Answer. My father's name is Samrat Mait and my mother's An Jiang. President. What about your wife? What is her name? How many children do you have? Answer. My wife's name is Samrat Samuen. I am the father of 5 children. President. Thank you, Mr. Samrat Moy. Based on the report of the greffier, you have no relationship with the 2 accused and to any of the civil parties admitted in this case 002/202. Is that true? Answer. Yes, that is true. President, I was also informed that you have already taken an oath before you appear before this chamber. You have already taken oath before the Iron Club statue. Is that true? Answer, yes, that is true. President, now I would like to inform you your rights and obligations as a witness before the chamber. As a witness in the proceeding before the chamber, you may refuse to respond to any question or to make any comments which may incriminate you, right against self-incrimination. This means that you may refuse to provide your response or to make any comment that could lead you to being prosecuted. Your obligations. As a witness in the proceedings before the chamber, you must respond to any questions by the bench or relevant parties except where your response or comments to those questions may incriminate you, as the chamber has just informed you of your rights as a witness. As a witness, you must tell the truth that you have known, heard, seen, remembered, experienced, or observed directly about an event or occurrence relevant to the questions that the bench or parties posed to you. Mr. Samrat Moy, have you ever been interviewed by the investigators of the OCIJ so far? If so, how many times did they take place and where did they take place? Do you recall it? Answer. I was interviewed twice at my house. However, I cannot tell you the exact date of the interviews. President, never mind. Before you appear in the courtroom, have you read the written records of the interview you provided 2 times to investigator of the OCIJ at your house to refresh your memory? Answer, yes, I have read them. President, to your best knowledge, can you confirm whether the written records of the interview you have just read are consistent with what you have told the investigators at your house? Answer, I have read and examined the written records of the interview, but I may not recall everything. President, I understand, but do the written records of interviews reflect what you told the investigators? Answer, yes. In accordance with Internal Rule 91 bis of the ECCC internal rules, the trial chamber will give the floor first to the co-prosecutor before other parties. The combined time for the co-prosecutor and co-lead lawyers is 2 sessions. You may now proceed.
សូមគោរពលោកប្រធាន
Co-prosecutor, good morning, Mr. President, Your Honors, everyone in and around the courtroom. Good morning, Mr. Witness. My name is Sri Ratana. I am the National Deputy Co-Prosecutor of the Extraordinary Chambers in the Courts of Cambodia. I have a few general questions I want to ask you. Where did you live during the Khmer Rouge period? Answer. Before the Khmer Rouge period, I was a worker at the rubber plantation in PM Xinjiang. Co-prosecutor, I am now asking you about the period between the 17th April 1975 to 6 January 1979. You have just made a mention that you were a worker at a rubber plantation. Or when did you become the worker at that place, and when did you move out of that rubber plantation? Answer. I was a worker at the rubber plantation from 1969, and later on I went to live in Sadao village because of the B-52 bombing. Question. You made mention about the B-52 bombing. When did it happen? Answer. It took place in 1972 or 1973. Question. When did Khmer Rouge arrive in your home village? Answer. While I was in Sadao village, the Khmer Rouge came to that place in 1971. Question. I was asking you about your home village. You stated that you returned to your home village after the B-52 bombing. I'm not asking you about the Sadao village you mentioned earlier. I would like to know when the Khmer Rouge came to control your home village. President, National Deputy Co-Prosecutor, could you please specify the name of his home village? The witness already told you about the name of the home village. Please specify it, otherwise the witness will get confused about the places you are referring to. And if you mentioned the Democratic Cambodia regime, I think it is clearer to all of us, because Khmer Rouge regime is broader term. So if we are referring to the Democratic Cambodia, it is the period from 17 April 1975 up to 6 January 1979. So please break your questions into pieces so that witness can understand them well. Co-prosecutor, thank you, Mr. President. You a while ago said that you returned to live in your home village, and from what I heard, you said your home village was Sombumia A village, Piem Chikong Commune, Komia District, Kampong Cham Province. When you returned to live in your home village, had the Khmer Rouge troop arrived in your home village already? Answer. Yes. The Khmer Rouge troop had arrived in my area when I returned to my home village. President, you may now proceed. Council Kung Sam-on. Council Kung Sam-on. Thank you, Mr. President. My apology for interruption, Mr. National Deputy Co-Prosecutor. The witness stated that he was interviewed twice. However, I have only one written record of the interview. So now I would like to know from the co-prosecutor whether we have two different written records of interview, or we have just one that I have. Deputy Co-Prosecutor, Mr. President, do you permit me to verify that point with the witness, President? Yes, every party is entitled to verify it and to ask about the matter. So I don't think some matters in relation to procedures conducted by the court may not be necessary to be asked by parties. National Deputy Co-Prosecutor, Mr. Witness, while you were living in your home village, what was your occupation back then? Answer: I was living in a cooperative. Question: did you remain in a cooperative until a later stage, and did you have any position in your home village? Answer: I was living in a cooperative, and I was tasked with militia position in the commune. Co-prosecutor, can you clarify this point for the chamber? Did you become a commune militiaman or a village militiaman? Answer: from 1974 and 1975 to 1975, I was a commune militiaman. Question: later on, after 1975, did you change your position? Answer: I was still living in that cooperative from 1975, and I was still in the position of a commune militiaman. Question: you were interviewed by investigators of the OCIJ, document E3/9346, Eon Command 00235015, English 00235507, French 00283947. You stated that I was assigned to be a commune militiaman. Please translation. Could you clarify this point for the chamber? Were you assigned to be a commune militiaman or a village militiaman? And how were commune militiaman and village militiaman different?
Answer: I was a member of the commune militia until 1975, and when I returned from the work site, I was reassigned to guard the village. However, the village was already part of the cooperative at the time. Question: could you please state it precisely, would you belong to the village or the commune militia? Because in your written statement it says you belong to the commune militia. Answer: from 1975 to 76, I was reassigned to be part of the commune militia. Question: and as a member of the militia, allow me to go back a bit. You said you were assigned to be a member of the militia. Who was the person that made this assignment? Answer. It was the commune chief, and actually I was sent by the village chief to the commune chief. Question, I don't really get it. Did you say the village chief or the commune chief that appointed you to be part of the militia group? And what was the name? Answer. It was Comrade E, the village chief, who sent me to live at the commune. So I was selected by him to go to work at the commune level. Question. You were assigned to guard, as you said. What did you guard, or whom did you guard, and where? Answer. I worked as other villagers during the daytime, and at night time I was assigned to guard within the area under the commune administration. Question. And were you told any specific instructions as what you should or what you should do during your guarding duty? Answer. I was a militiaman and my duty was to guard the village at night time. And of course the village was part of the commune. Question. And which village? Answer. I actually at the time lived in Saxo Cooperative. Question. And what year was that? Answer. I was at the Saxo in 1976. Question. Speaking about Saxo village, how far was Saxo village from Sambumi village, which is your native village? Answer. Sambumi A and Saxo villages are adjacent to one another. Question. And how many families were living in that village at the time? Answer. There were many families at the time living in that village. Question. I understand that you cannot give us an exact figure of the number of people living in the village. However, can you tell the chamber whether the number of people living in the village was in hundreds or in thousands? Answer. I know there were many of them and the village was full of villagers, but I cannot give you the figure. Question. And from your observation, were those villagers all Khmer, or was there a mixture of Khmer with other ethnicities? Answer. There were Cham people and Khmer people living, mixing together in Saxo. Question. Speaking about the Cham people, were there many Cham families living in Saxo? Answer. There were more Cham families living in Saxo than Khmer families. Question. Were they the original settlers in the village, or were they newcomers? I mean, were they sent from other areas to come and lived in that village? Answer. They were the original settlers there. Question regarding the Cham people in Saxo. Did you know about any event involved in the arrest of the Cham people there? Answer. In late 1976 or early 77, I was sent to live in the cooperative, and that was the time that the arrest of the Cham people started. Question. Can you elaborate a bit further regarding this event, that is the event of the arrest of the Cham people? When did exactly it happen? Answer. It happened in 1977. Question. And how many Cham people were arrested at that particular time? Answer. All the Cham people were arrested except one family, that is husband and a wife. Question. Do you mean that all the Cham people living in Saxo village were arrested and only a husband and a wife were not arrested? Answer. Yes, that is correct. Question. Do you mean all the Cham people were arrested? Do you mean that within a family, for instance, the husband and the wife and the children were arrested all together? Answer. Yes, I saw them being walked along the street, and I lived in the cooperative, and I could see from where I stood, and I saw all the Cham people, including young children, were being walked. Question. And you said that all arrested except a family of a husband and wife. Why this couple was not arrested? Were they not in the village when the arrest took place? Answer. I was not aware of that because by that time I had lived in the cooperative, and later on I learned that family survived the ordeal. Question. So only after you returned to live in the village, you saw that couple, and that made you to believe that this couple survived? Answer. As I said, at the time I was living in the cooperative, and I was assigned to guard a cornfield, and this couple actually fled and came to seek refuge at the shelter where I was staying. Question. Can you tell the court about the process of the arrest? Were all Cham people arrested at the same time, or the arrest was carried out successively? Answer: I only saw one large arrest where all the Cham were arrested. I was living at the kitchen hall. I was afraid to go near, but I saw the Cham people being walked. Question: and who actually conducted the arrest of those Cham people? Answer: at that time I did not know who made the arrest, since I had lived in the cooperative. However, the arrest took place after the arrival of the Southwest group. Question: and when the Cham people were being walked, what was the process of the Cham being walked? I mean, how many people actually escorted them on the road? Answer: I watched the Cham being walked from afar, so I cannot tell you how many people actually were escorting them at the time. Question: and can you recognize those people or where they were from? Answer: no, I did not, since I did not approach them. I was far behind at the cooperative, so I could not identify those people. Question: did you ever hear about the so-called Longsword group? Answer: the Longsword group was established by the Southwest group after their arrival. Question: and did you know any member of the Longsword group? Answer: I only saw these security people walking around carrying sword, and I did not dare to approach them. Question: were members of the Longsword group different from members of the militia that you belong to? Answer: of course, we were different. In the morning, we were sent to work in the field, and we were involved in the guard duty at night. Question: was there any link between the two groups, work-wise? Answer: no, there wasn't. Actually, the Longsword group was established at a later stage, and by that time I had been reassigned to live and work at the cooperative. Question: let's speak about those people who conducted the arrest of the Cham people. Did you see them carrying any kind of weapon? Answer: I did not actually observe them carefully. I only saw them from a distance. I did not go near them, so I cannot tell you about this. Question. And before that arrest took place, were you aware of any plan that had been prepared for the arrest? For example, through a meeting? Answer. While I lived in Saxo with the Cham people, we were not aware of anything. However, all the people were called to attend a meeting at Dam Nat Srai. All the people were called to attend, that is, after the arrival of Southwest, and after that, the arrest took place. Question. Did you attend that meeting? Answer. Yes, all people who lived in the cooperative were called to attend that meeting after the arrival of that Southwest group, and after that, the arrest took place. Question. Who chaired that meeting? Answer. It was Khan, the district secretary, who was a Southwest person. Question. And what did he say during that meeting? Answer. The main topic that they spoke about at the time was for us to respect Angka, and they also spoke about working hard. That's all I recall. Question. How long after the conclusion of the meeting and the arrest of the Cham took place? And I cannot recall it precisely, since I then was assigned to live at the cooperative. However, it was not long after the meeting concluded. Question. By the way, how many meetings had taken place before the commencement of the arrest? You mentioned that you attended a meeting. Did you attend other meetings besides this one before the arrest of the Cham people? And they called all people from the cooperative to attend that meeting, and that was the one meeting that we all attended. Besides that, we all were busy working in the field. Question. And let's talk about that meeting. Besides Khan and the participation of all the villagers, were other people attending, for example, senior cadres or members of the militia or member of the Longsword group? Answer. No, not during that meeting. Only the villagers were called to attend the meeting, and only later on the Longsword group was established. Question. Did you participate in that meeting as a civilian or as a member of the militia? Answer. I was a civilian because by that time I was reassigned to live and work in the cooperative. Question. Again, regarding the arrest of the Cham people and the one that you saw, during what time of the day that it took place? Answer. It was in late afternoon after I returned from working in the field and I was having my porridge. Question. And can you say around what time during that late afternoon? Answer. It was around a bit after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that is after I returned from working in the field. Question. You observed the process of the Cham people being walked along the road. Did you observe any Cham people were tied up tortured or beaten? Answer: no, I did not see such details. I watched rather from a distance, and I could not see it. And the arrest in the village had taken place earlier while I was in the cooperative. President: thank you, National Deputy Co-Prosecutor, and thank you, Mr. Witness. It is now appropriate for us to have a short break. We take a break now and return at 20 to 11. And court officer, please assist the witness during the short break time and invite him as well as the duty counsel back into the courtroom at 20 to 11.
សូមអញ្ជើញក្រោកឈរ